Hi everybody, Alexander Kesh, CEO of GLEIF. We're here at Cybos in the Chainlink mini studio to do some interesting interviews. And today I have with me Jens Hackmeister, who I will let introduce himself in terms of what he's doing at Deutsche Börse and also at GLEIF. And we will have a chat afterwards around liquidity in the digital asset world. So how we can bring liquidity on-chain in a most trustful way. So Jens?
Yeah, thank you, Alex, for having me, for being here at Cybos and with you. I'm actually heading issuer services and new digital markets at GLEIF as part of GLEIF Security Services Management Team. And on top, I'm a board member of GLEIF, and I'm very, very happy to be here and looking forward to the conversation.
So there are a lot of discussions about, okay, there is the technology of blockchain is becoming more and more mature. Swift announced that they're also launching a layer 2 on-chain to bring assets on-chain. But nevertheless, all the trillions of assets are mostly off-chain, right? So how do we bring them on-chain?
I think a good question, and I think one of the key questions, right, to really get the ecosystem going and to load it. I mean, one role we can play as Clearstream obviously is to kind of what I keep saying, like tokenize our stock. So we are sitting on, as Clearstream for instance, we are sitting on 20 trillion of assets under custody. So if we can mobilize those, obviously this will be an important step. I keep saying, like when Steve Jobs presented his first iPod, he claimed that it is 1,000 songs in your pocket, right? And probably 999 of these songs were not digitally native, but re-digitized from records and CDs back at the time. So what we need to do, we need to digitize what we have today. But another element in my view always is, if we talk about digital ecosystems going forward, is like how can participants really engage in an ecosystem in a trustful way. So meaning, and participates in three ways: entities, individuals, and machines finally, and they need to identify in a safe and unique and secure way, which is in my view another key element next to the kind of tokenization of the stock and probably the cash link, which is all the discussion around CBDC, stable coins, etc., etc. But I think if you build digital infrastructure and you do not manage the identification properly, you will never get to this point where people can enter this kind of digital space and room with the trust that the counterparts they interact will be properly identified. So therefore I think identification is one of the key elements. I probably should mention as well, obviously, a sound and scalable technology based on technological standards, etc., etc. But this is very much the kind of ingredients of, in my view, of a scalable and at the same time trusted digital infrastructure.
Cool. So digital asset plus digital identity equal scalable trust.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, sounds good. So why do we need that trust? What does that mean in specifically when you say we need digital identity, we need trust? Is it about compliance only, or what are the elements of trust that identity brings?
I mean, clearly one element is compliance, KYC, AML, which is the I would say, which are the obvious or the kind of nearest arguments here. But on top, I think if you really want to scale, whenever you kind of ramp on and ramp off this kind of digital ecosystem or the digital space, you do not want to have this kind of unsecure situation. Is everything proper and in order? And the other thing is, if we talk about global networks, and we going back in our capital markets industry, the idea and the problem to solve that counterparts are interacting which do not know each other in person, either as entities or as individuals, this needs to be resolved in the digital age as well. So therefore, if you really want to start kind of creating transactions at scale, you need to have this kind of secure kind of onboarding and offboarding with each and every transaction, and then this kind of interaction and really mobilizing this kind of global network of market participants. Therefore, it is more than just, at least to me, it is more than just KYC and AML and this kind of general kind of quality check and identification.
Absolutely, and I used to work for an FMI like you before, and my thesis was that of course FMIs will evolve in the future. Maybe custody will move closer and closer to the asset holders, but the role of market organizations and market organization that FMIs have will never disappear, because you need to be the ones that someone needs to say you have access to to those instruments, you are allowed to do this with those instruments, we organize these systems, these services. Would you agree that it's just the future role of FMIs, like Deutsche Börse as an exchange and Clearstream as an ICSD and CSD?
No, absolutely. I keep saying, like, if you describe the business model of an FMI in one sentence, it is going to build, load, operate markets based on technology in a regulated frame. And if you believe that this is your mission in a way, then I would say it doesn't matter whether you have central infrastructures or decentral infrastructures. This role of a kind of trusted third party, of being the adult in the room, setting the rules, doing rule enforcement, and admitting market participants to infrastructure and products to infrastructure, I think is the key role which will stay regardless whether we talk central or decentral infrastructures. And having talked about admitting market participants to an infrastructure, I think it is even more critical if you have infrastructures where which have a kind of global reach, and at the same time where transactions might be kind of validated by parties you do not know, right? And this is probably, I would say, this kind of transaction layer which is about to emerge with public chains, etc., is, I think, putting an additional complexity or challenge to the identification and the trusted identification of market participants in a kind of market infrastructure of the next generation.
Okay, so what's the role of LEI and VLEI in this context, in your view? Of course, identification, but VLEI more specifically, what do you see? I know that you're excited by the VLEI products.
I am.
And where is that excitement coming from?
So in my view, the VLEI should and could resolve a lot of different things. One is, and we've talked about this kind of initial identification, KYC, AML. So I think with each and everyone logging on or using whatever type of app based on a decentral network can identify him or herself as a kind of trusted representative of a certain entity. Second, I think each and every kind of transaction on a decentral network starts with the individual or with the machine, and the machine or the individual is acting on behalf of an entity, of a kind of entity in capital markets. And therefore, if you want to seamlessly and quickly kickstart all of these kind of processes in the digital space, then having a kind of easy and at the same time unique and trusted way to identify these individuals acting for market participants, it is creating a combination of trust and speed to this kind of instant capital market universe which we are entering. And therefore I think the VLEI, this kind of really credential which you can really send with each and every transaction, is exactly the right, I would say, the right tool, if I may say, to move from what I call electronic security services to instant security services. And it is this kind of instantness which you create, like from the very first touch point with the digital infrastructure. Mm-hmm. The VLEI is not only this kind of initial identification on KYC and AML, but in my view, it is the kind of per transaction, I would say, entry and access to a kind of instant and digital capital markets infrastructure, which means, in my view, that if you move to elements like intraday issuance, direct distribution, an instant design and deployment of products going forward, then you need this kind of seamless but at the same time trusted, I would say, possibility to access these type of infrastructures, like the same easiness and ease of use when probably opening an app and identifying with your face on your cell phone. And this is I think where capital markets are going, and therefore this kind of creating this first type of user experience with ease and trust at the same time. This, in my view, is really this key to be an integral part of this instant and digital market infrastructure.
Excellent. So let's talk about your Cybos. So how was your Cybos? We did the last day of Cybos. I'm tired personally. That's my conclusion. No, we had an excellent week, but beyond the joke, any announcement on your side or collaborations that you want to share with the audience as you are with us today?
Thank you. And I'm tired as well. I have to say it was intense as always. But let me share one announcement we made. I mean, you probably have heard that Deutsche Börse has entered into a strategic partnership with Circle. So one of the leading providers of and issuers of stablecoins, which nicely relates to some of the topics we discussed about. And it is the same. If you want to, and in that regard, I mean, we are very proud now to add stablecoins into the ecosystem of our central securities depository, but potentially as well to the clearinghouse and to trading venues. And it is exactly as I said. Like if we want to create this kind of bridge between DeFi and public networks and TradFi and existing infrastructures, then we need solutions like VLAI, as we talked earlier, to really kind of transfer the trust we have in TradFi into some of these new world DeFi protocols, ecosystem, market solution and products. And the idea to embrace stablecoins, but as well cryptos, for us as kind of regulated and trusted market infrastructure, it is a journey, but clearly a proper identification will help as well in this regard. So therefore, I think this announcement nicely fits to our conversation.
Absolutely. Interoperable trust.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to build with the VLA and the LEI. Thank you very much, Jens, for this conversation. Thank you so much for being with us, and I'll see you, I'm sure, at the next board meeting.
Absolutely.
In Sydney, right?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Alex.